Welcome to Cable 15 TV, Sports Unleashed, an NBS production, Facebook Live. Sports Unleashed every Monday night at 6 p.m. is brought to you by, and in part, by the Jackson's Funeral Home, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue. Our family serving your family, the Jackson way. Program also brought to you by the Thompson Wilson Funeral Homes of McCrory and Wynn. Sports Unleashed, the Jackson's Funeral Home. A life well lived is worth remembering. Merchants of Planters Bank, your hometown bank in Newport with 2 locations to serve you. Downtown Newport and Highway 367 North, out on the highway. Member FDIC. Unity Health, Harris Medical Center, Newport, Arkansas. Helping bring you all sports programming, including Sports Unleashed and Greyhound football and basketball. Subway in the Walmart Supercenter, thanks to the Sampson family. Sports Unleashed is also brought to you by Two Chicks Florist and more. They bring you the birthday report each and every Monday night. Flowers, gifts, holiday decorating. We're located at 1014 Malcolm Avenue in Newport. And also the Bank of England Mortgage Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender, Kenny Thaxton and Sally Law. Customized Vision Care in the Newport Village Mall, 523-3333, presents a look back. Program also brought to you by Fathead Pizza Company. That's one word and it's all caps for the best pizza, best salad, best sandwiches in the world. Give them a call at 201-1313. They'll have your order ready. At 512-8429 for Ben Black. You need dirt work, you need gravel work, you need sprinkler system work, you need something done, give Ben Black a call at that number. Like a good neighbor, Andrew Roach is there, State Farm Insurance Agent, 495-2024. Great food, great service, and Mexican food that is second to none at El Puente Mexican Restaurant in Newport. White River Health System and WRMC Medical Complex in Newport. Big sponsor of Greyhound Sports here on Cable Channel 15 TV. And the Delta Manufacturing Company, Delta Trailer Manufacturing since 1971, celebrating 50 years in the business. Delta Trailer Manufacturing. Diaz Scrap Metal, located on Highway 367 north of Newport. If you've got metal to sell, we've got money to pay. Farmers Tire Mart, 1501 Malcolm Avenue, where the rubber meets the road. If you need tires or service work on your automobile, give us a call. Kenny Fletcher Land Surveying, 223rd Street, Newport, 523-5625. And if you need your heating and air conditioning system worked on, Temp Pro, Sam Laster Jr. and John Laster, 827-3213. C&M Ag Depot at 2900 Highway 367 north of Newport, 523-6766, your Carhartt Clothing Company. Sports Unleashed coming your way. Up next, here on Facebook Live, Cable 15 TV. Unleashed at Cable 15 TV, on Facebook Live, also on YouTube at Newport Cable 15 TV. I'm David Black. That's Ben Black down there on that end. This is Hayden Schultz, and behind the camera is nobody tonight. Josh is on assignment. Linda Black is on assignment. So we're doing this without a camera person. We hope we have good audio and hope we have a good video because we have a very, very interesting sports show. I know it's NCAA tournament time, a lot of games, on the TV. We appreciate those folks who have joined us because we're going to talk a little basketball. We're going to talk a little Arkansas Razorbacks. Guys, biggest to me, the most exciting time in sports is the madness of March with an NCAA tournament. Being your thoughts on the tournament itself?
Oh, man, it's a wonderful time of year for college basketball, just college sports in general. The NCAA does a good job with this tournament. You just think there's 18-year-old, 19-year-old to 24-year-old kids battling day in and day out for a chance to be the number one team in the nation. I mean, and every town, every state, every school that gets to play in one of these tournaments is, you know, in my opinion, blessed. I mean, it's a blessing to get to play in one of them. And the Arkansas Razorbacks are in the Sweet 16. I mean, that's the first time since 1996, I believe.
That's correct.
Just a special time for those young student athletes, and a special time for us as Razorback fans for sure.
Hayden, anytime this tournament comes along after missing last year, it's always exciting.
Oh, for sure, and you're getting to see the madness, why they call it March Madness. I mean, some upsets. Loyola is a big one. I mean, that was even the Ohio State.
Getting beat,
upset. Yeah. I mean, in the first round, that was kind of a shocker to some. I mean, that's what you play for. It's one game. It's not necessarily who's the better team, because I think Ohio State's the better team. It just happened on that night they weren't the better team, and that's what makes fun about a tournament.
Well, so you talk about some of the upsets and some of the you look at a team like North Texas State, who has never won a basketball game in the NCAA tournament before, and they win a big basketball game. Abilene Christian beating Texas, small little school out of Texas, beating the University of Texas. And, I mean, just lots of upsets in the Loyola of Chicago. You know, a couple of 3 years ago, they had a great run. And Sister Jean, I think that's correct, Sister Jean. And but for those guys to knock off not only Illinois, but a number one seed Illinois, little Loyola of Chicago. I mean, I think that is the biggest upset of the tournament thus far. But anyway, lots of games going on right now. Creighton is playing with about 12 minutes to go in the basketball game, up by 11. And LSU and Michigan is 43, Michigan, LSU 42 at the half. Maryland and Alabama play later on. USC and Kansas play later on. And we'll give you our picks of what we think is going to be, the Elite Eight and the Final Four, and pick our champion. That's what I'll do that tonight. But anyway, if we look back at last week's bracket, you had 36 chances to pick a game, and Ben, you missed 10. You missed 10. And hey, you missed 10. And old Dave down here, the old pro who...
What'd you miss, 12?
Been around the block a little bit. Know a little basketball. I only missed 16 out of 36. So, Hayden, you had a bracket that was perfect from the was it the West?
The West.
You picked the West, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Wild West.
I had Gonzaga, Oklahoma, Creighton, Ohio, Drake, Kansas, Oregon, and Iowa. It worked out pretty well for me.
I think you snuck in and filled in that you knew I didn't check those until like a couple of days ago.
We can go back.
Oh, and look at it, can't we?
We can always go back.
I think you got. I don't know about that little story, but congratulations to you. But you are the pizza winner for the first time. And we'll give you all our other stuff on NCAA a little bit and talk more about that. Just want to remind everybody that I want to go back and talk a little high school right now. Harding Academy, who the Newport Greyhounds defeated twice this year, and a basketball team that just refused to lose. They got hot when they needed to get hot. They strung together some victories in the regional tournament. They strung together some victories in the state tournament. They had a great draw. We knew whoever won that regional was going to get what we thought was a better draw, but you couldn't ask for anything better for Newport. I mean, Newport had a chance. Newport had as good a basketball team as the state champion this year, having beaten the state champion twice, once by 20 points at home. But your hat's off to Harding Academy. I think they were down by 9 with about 3 minutes to go in the game and just refused to lose. So I don't know if y'all watched any of the basketball game, but I do know this. Those guys are just winners. They're just winners, and they just refuse to lose in the basketball game.
They're built for it. I mean, you can see it every time we played them. Beat them by 19 the first time, beat them by 3 the next in double overtime, and the next time they beat us. I mean, they're just one of those teams, and they got hot at the right time early on in the year. I didn't think Harding was a team that even be talked about in the state tournament. Quite frankly, I didn't even think they'd get to a regional. I thought we were some better teams. But that just goes back to the players they got. I mean, they hustle, they play their style of ball, and they've got good coaching. And, I mean, that's the Harding Academy way right now.
I really think the Duggar kid, if you watch him play, he's not a big vocal guy, but he's a director on the floor. When they played Mayflower the other night, he got to guard the guy that was 6'4" from Mayflower, big inside guy. A very intelligent, maybe as underrated a player in football and basketball as there is in the state of Arkansas, because I don't know what there is as far as recruiting for that guy. But that'd be a guy that I'd want on my team because he's a player. Ben, your thoughts about the team and Doug?
Yeah, that young man, he's one of those guys, it's kind of like a Matt Jones style player. You look at him and you go, yeah, he's decent, he's pretty good. And then you look at what he's done and his track record and you say, man, that guy, apparently he's either the luckiest guy in the world or he's pretty good. But I think he's a tremendous athlete. And like you said, just a game manager, just smart, does well. He does a great job. Like I said, they put him on their star. They said, shut him down. And that's what he did. I mean, he's one of those style players. And I think that Harding in general as a team is we played them twice in the regular season. Beat them by 19, like Hayden said, and then lost by a couple, or won by a couple at home, and then ended up losing in the regional to them, or in the – was it the regional?
Yeah, lost by 2 in the regional. Yeah. Finals of the regional, yeah.
But
the 4 seed.
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's
right. Yeah, they were 4 seed in the regional, and Harding Academy is a good ball team. I mean, they were a good team, but I just didn't know that they were state championship quality, but they always come through in the clutch. When it's time, when they've got to make the shot or when they've got to put the points on the board or they've got to get the rebound, they always come through, and that's what the Harding Academy has done in football and basketball, and I would assume in track and golf and everything else.
Well, I do know that Sapp, he was the quarterback, and Duggar was the running back, wide receiver that made their football team, so good, and lots of other great football players too. And there was other great basketball players on that team. They had a lot of just what you call the role players, just like Newport does, and had some guys that could shoot the three. But when they turned up the defensive pressure the other night with their guard play, it made a difference in the basketball game. And I think they were down 9, and I mean the game was over. I'm sitting there and thought, golly gee, they didn't win. But man, then they cut it to 7, and
they were down 13 to start the fourth quarter.
Is that right? Yeah.
They went on a 10-0 run to start it.
Right.
And then I think Mayflower answered, and then they went on to win the game like that. I think it was like a 15-2 or 17-2 run in the fourth quarter. 17-4 was the final. So, I mean,
they're a great team.
Yeah,
great teams find a way to win. They find a way to win.
West Memphis girls. Have you heard this story?
No, I
haven't.
West Memphis girls 1-11 in the regular season. Okay. 1-11. Go to the district tournament and win the district tournament as the bottom of the bracket.
Okay.
Wins the district tournament. Goes to regional. Gets a state bid. Goes to state and goes to the state finals and plays Jonesboro and gets beat in the finals.
Is that right?
1-11.
Wow.
1-11 coming in. Well, that just goes to show you that anything can happen on any given night when you play the game, and that's why they let us play this great game. Yeah, bracket.
Madness.
It's madness.
Madness
you just
everywhere.
Don't know. They don't pencil anybody in. They make you go play, and that's what is so beautiful about, just high school and even college. Pros, not so much. I mean, the guys that are supposed to win in the pros usually win, but in college and in high school, man, there's always a lot of upsets and underdog victories, and I'm an underdog guy, so
it's one game.
Yeah, it's one game. How you perform one game.
That's it.
Well, I mean, athletics is like that. You always have the preseason or the, in high school football, the non-conference games, and then the conference games, and then the games that it's one and done, and
survive in advance.
Survive in advance. We've said it a long, long time. Something I wanted to make mention and let's talk a little bit about the Hogs and the announcers had talked about yesterday. It was going to be like a rock fight. You guys would throw rocks at each other. It was I don't mean a knockdown drag out. It was just a hard played, tough, defensive grind on both sides. They kept talking about how great Texas Tech defense was, and then they rock along there. And they looked at it with about 4 minutes to go in the game. And they said Texas Tech scored 3 buckets this half. 3. Arkansas's defense was absolutely stunning, incredible, smothering, and I thought they won the basketball game because of their defense.
Yeah, I can't remember the little guard's name from Texas Tech.
McClung.
Yeah, McClung.
They wanted
McCullough,
it.
yeah.
They were trying to get that guy the ball. They were trying to give him the ball, and then RD they just wouldn't let him. They just refused to let this man get the basketball. And we were chasing. I can't remember who was defending, but he was all
Davis,
over.
wasn't it Davis, 4?
Was it may have
Devo
been.
Davis, I thought, was player of the game.
It may have been Davis.
He was a difference maker.
Just, I mean, guys would not let him get the ball. Just would not let him get the ball.
Going
You couldn't
through
pass it
screens,
to him.
going through double
Yeah,
screens.
yeah. They were doing everything. Texas Tech was doing everything they could do to try to get this man the ball, and he just refused to let them even pass it to him.
Well, anytime you go to the Sweet 16 and you talk about the Razorbacks are there, and would it be disappointing if they don't win their next ball game? We'll talk more about Oral Roberts here in a little bit. But here's how hard it is to get to the Sweet 16. When they won the national championship in '95, 16 teams in the Sweet 16. Arkansas wins the national championship. They get the Elite Eight, Final Four win, beat Duke with a big shot by Thurman. Now, the next year when the Sweet 16, how many teams do you think from the year before were in the Sweet 16 2 years in a row? 4.
I
3.
I was going to say 5 or something, or 6.
3.
Okay.
That's how hard it is to get back. I mean, it's just very, very difficult. People say, I want to go to the Sweet 16 every year.
Everybody does. I mean,
Sure they do.
Everybody does.
Texas Tech does.
Well, they've been to the Final Four the last couple of years, but
Not this year.
and I know this, that Duke had a great run for many, many years where they made the Sweet 16 an incredible number of years in a row, and that means you got to win 2 games in the NCAA tournament, and with all the upsets. And it just goes to show you how hard it is to pick your top 64 teams. The committee, I mean, you don't blame the committee. That's just how difficult it is when you're looking at teams and you go, I think this team is about a 12 seed, and this guy, he probably doesn't need to get in the tournament like UCLA. UCLA barely got in. They were one of the last 4 in. Right. They're in Sweet 16. They won a pair. So,
since the 60s, it's the first time Duke or Kentucky have not been in the bracket.
In the bracket.
Really?
Since the 60s.
I'll be dang.
I saw some of the national sportscasters there yesterday talking about, I guess it's on the CBS broadcast, might have been TBS, but they said, said, well, the SEC's down a little bit. And the guy said, no, wait a minute. No. He said, the SEC's not down. It's Kentucky's down. Kentucky's not in. They're not in. And, of course, Charles Barkley said, yeah, they are 0. They're dead. They're out. But just because Kentucky doesn't make it in doesn't mean the SEC's not very good, because the SEC has been real good. They talked about how good the Big Ten was. When you get on this tournament, I mean, who thought about Oregon State and Oregon? Besides Hayden.
Hayden?
The guys that made the bracket didn't
think too much of them, did they?
I thought Oregon State, I watched them play in that Pac-12 conference championship game, and I was like, this team right here can play. And I thought Oregon, and the big thing about Oregon, not having to play their first game and then getting to play Iowa with fresh legs, you're not tired,
Right.
It's not a back-to-back game,
Right.
and you go out there and almost score 100
Yeah.
in 40 minutes. I mean, come on.
That's shooting lights out, ain't it? Either that or
Iowa,
nobody's guarding
number
it.
2 seed.
Yeah.
Aren't they a 2?
So,
And Oregon was a 7 seed. Is that right? Look at Oregon.
7. Oregon.
They were a 7 seed. So I mean, people are thinking they could play basketball. And
oh yeah.
a lot of that it just
Well, they're
comes.
20-6. I mean, won 20 games.
Well, and if you take Loyola, they're 24-4 coming in. They're 25-20. They're 26-4. They're 26-4.
26 wins.
They won 26 basketball games this year.
Yeah,
I don't care who they play.
I don't care if they're playing each other.
That's right.
They
Or
won
playing.
26.
I always say playing against air.
Nobody.
You win 24 games playing or 26 games playing against air. You've done pretty well.
And that's and you've always said this, and this is so true. It's hard to win on the road in college sports, not but especially college basketball.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, I just was going to say, so you look at that and you consider that it's hard to win in college basketball on the road, and then you go out there here and you say, well, these guys played about half their games at home, then the other half they played on the road. So you won 20 games.
Yeah,
You're doing
playing
something
on the
right.
road.
You're doing
You're on
something
the road.
right. I mean, half of them are on the road, half of them are home, and you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I agree
if
with you.
you've won
totally.
20.
playing on the road a little bit different this year because you didn't have the hostile crowds that you went into.
Right.
But still, yet you're going to an environment that you're not used to.
You don't shoot on these goals
You don't
every
shoot on
day.
it. And that's something that I'm glad you mentioned that because I'll ask you about, and Hayden, you can answer this. Arkansas Razorbacks don't shoot at their goals.
No.
They don't shoot at their goals in I start to say Barnhill Arena, and whatever place, Sam Walton Hall, or what's it called?
Bud Walton.
Arena. Bud Walton Hall, Bud Walton Arena.
Bud Walton
They
Arena.
don't shoot on their goals. They shoot in their indoor practice facility. I just don't know if that's the most important thing to do, but it hadn't affected them at all.
Well, I mean, it may have helped them. I mean, it may help you on the road.
Shooters can shoot anywhere.
That's
A
right.
shooter can shoot, can't he?
Well, it's this. Great teams find a way to win.
You're right.
Harding Academy, back to them.
Is the rim 10 foot? I mean,
That's right. I mean,
the
it's all the same. The hole's the same
93
size.
feet. I mean, it's
94, yeah.
94.
The ball's got the same air in it, unless you're Tom Brady.
Unless you let the air out of it like Brady did.
We're not even going to get on that.
Grant Black's watching. Chris Sharp's watching. Hi, Grant Black. What's up, brother?
I see Robbie Crawford on there.
Is the Crappie Man on there?
Crappie.
Oh, we've got some viewers tonight. You know, it posted up about 97 times. Chris Sharp is watching again this week from Northwest Arkansas. Whoop, Big Suey.
Amen.
Razorbacks, number one team in the nation coming into the weekend and got drilled by Alabama 16-1. And then came back and won the next two against Alabama. It's a sign of a great team. All you want to do in the SEC is win 2 out of every 3.
You
wanna
do that
win.
every time.
If you do it every time, you're going to be the conference champion.
You darn right.
2 out of 3. How do you get beat 16-1, be the number one team?
Well, you're on a roll. Have they lost? They hadn't lost up until this point.
No, they
No,
lost a
they've
couple.
lost.
They lost.
Who'd they lost
Oklahoma
to?
beat them and Louisiana Tech beat them.
Okay,
Tech,
well,
yeah.
I'll take both.
We took 2 out of 3 from Tech.
We
and
took
then
2 out of 3
Oklahoma
from
came
Tech.
in and just beat them
Just a one game.
one game. Or
Okay, it's a one-gamer. Okay. Well, with that being said, they're still a great baseball team.
They're probably the best team in the country.
Yeah, that's why they ranked them up there at number
And
one.
in baseball, you're not going to go 58-3.
It's a game of failure.
Absolutely, you're not going 58-3 if they play that many games, or 48-3. You're going to lose 10, 12, 15 games is what you're going to lose. If you lose less than double figures, you've got a phenomenal baseball team.
Historic.
You've got an historic team if you win with less than.
Yeah, you lose 9 games and that's all you've lost in the season? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You've had a great year. You've had a great year. Guys, I want to mention, going back to the Arkansas game, and I told y'all a little bit about this before, Charles Barkley at the end of the game, Big Charles, Chuck, who I think's a great person and
He was a great basketball player.
great basketball player, and he's a pretty good analyst sometimes on CBS and TBS. He was talking about Chris Beard at the end of the ball game yesterday, and why he questioned Chris Beard. He said Chris Beard should have called timeout for Texas Tech. No doubt. He said they should have called timeout and set up a play. And so they replayed this play where they come back and said, and there was about 7 seconds to go, and they had a guy double teamed at the top of the screen and said, right here's where you should have called timeout and set up a play. The coach should have called timeout and set up a play. And the first thing I thought, and nobody said anything, nobody on the board, the other 3 guys didn't say anything, the first thing I thought is, they got a layup. They missed a layup. You couldn't call timeout and go over there and say, guys, we're going to set up a play, and it's going to be a layup. It's hard to do. So they got the best shot they could possibly get, but because he missed the layup, you can always second-guess the coach. And there's Charles Barkley second-guessing the coach when the team got a layup. I mean,
Well, he is an analyst or whatever, so somebody has to take that point of view, so to speak, and so he probably just drew the short end of the stick.
I would have said,
He drew the short straw, I guess.
I just would have said he could have called a timeout, but I'm telling you what, calling a timeout couldn't have got him any better play than what he got.
He couldn't have got him any better play than what he got, and who's to say calling timeout would have changed anything? And you can do that, and that's human nature to.
Second game.
Well, yes, well, the coach should have done this, and that's why there's very few of us are coaches, and a lot of us are analysts.
Well, and speaking of analysts, I know everybody in the world has seen this. Todd Furman. Todd Furman, who is somebody.
Yeah, not sure who he is, but we've heard his name quite a bit.
He works for CBS Sports, NITBOQ, second-rate something or another media. I think he's a lot like us, guys, honestly.
Probably.
I think, we're NBS Productions. We're NBS Productions, and what that simply means is Nation, Black, Schultz, okay? NBS Productions right here. 4 country bumpkin rednecks. I think we're a lot like that guy.
He probably so.
Hey, tell us what this guy did, this Todd Furman guy, before the game talked about the coaching matchup between Chris Beard and Coach Musselman.
Said that it was the biggest mismatch in the tournament. Beard ought to be licking his chops right now going against Musselman.
Biggest mismatch from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah.
Said Beard's just head and shoulders above him.
And Muss responded after he heard this and responded by giving his kids the opportunity to say, oh, this is what this guy thought about me coaching. This is what this guy thought about y'all playing for me. And Big Muss took to the media waves and let him have it. Let the guy have it.
He should have.
I'm not a big Twitter guy, but I sent maybe my second tweet last night to him last night. Just ask him. I think what I said was, he had questioned somebody else about why didn't they let this guy stay in the game more? So-and-so should have stayed in the game more, or this guy, Barrymore should have stayed in the game more. Didn't say what team, what coach. And I said, well, that's because Coach Muss was the coach. And I went, oh, no, wrong team. Blame the coach because there's a reason why the coach doesn't play somebody. There's a reason why somebody doesn't get many touches because somebody's playing defense. You look at Chris Beard, and somebody says, well, they should have gotten the ball to what's his name?
McClung.
Yeah, they should have gotten the ball to McClung more.
They were trying. Arkansas was playing some great defense.
Yes, sir.
So you know what Arkansas said? It said, don't let them get it to McClung.
That's exactly. They're trying to.
They're trying to.
They're trying to. So
all the naysayers and all the people that second guess after the fact, coach should have done this, coach should have done that. I'm not that kind of person. Like I'll speak my opinion and say who I think will win or who I think should have done this, but I don't like the old fire the coach or because like you said, those guys are trying to, and you can hindsight's 20/20. That coach did. That coach, every coach, no coach in the history of the world ever said, "I'm going to make this decision because I don't think this is the right decision for my team to win."
Whether it's in Pee Wee basketball or high school, or you
they make their decision based on, I think this will help my team win.
Absolutely.
And I think I'll be the winner. And if it doesn't work out, you go, well, that dude was stupid. He should have done this. Everybody knows that.
Have you heard me say? I know you've heard me say it 100 times. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Just don't work.
Sometimes it don't work.
That's life lessons.
That's exactly
when
right.
you're doing everything right, everything's supposed to be going this way. You plan for this, and it doesn't work out like that. You have to deal with it. It sucks sometimes, but you just have to deal with it.
Looking at our bracket to give you an update on scores, did you pick LSU? You picked LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, you picked LSU. I picked LSU. LSU's up 51-45 right now over the number 1 seed Michigan. I think LSU, and I said going into this thing, and didn't even pick them in the first round, I thought they were playing as well as anybody in the country, and we've all got them to beat Michigan tonight. Florida State over Colorado State 20-13 as we speak. Creighton beat Ohio 72-58. UCLA 67-47 over Abilene Christian. Gonzaga just drilled Oklahoma today 87-71. And in Oregon, you mentioned 95-80 over Iowa. So games still going on. Maryland and Alabama later tonight. USC and Kansas. And those ball games should be dandies. You kind of like Maryland, you said. Talk a little bit about that.
I got Maryland in my Final Four.
You think they'll take on the Crimson Tide? And
I don't. I think they beat Alabama tonight. It's tonight, correct?
Yes.
7:45.
7:45. Yeah.
I like an upset right here. I think there's been some good ones, and
there have been. And you've called a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean,
you called just about all of them.
I mean, it's like I said, it's just one game. I think Maryland, big men. Alabama always likes to run and they'll scrap. I think Maryland tries to slow the tempo down. If they can hit the in and out game by driving and kicking out and hit a couple threes, getting a few extra rebounds here and there, I think it'll be a good game. But not to say that Alabama doesn't go beat them by 30.
Sure, and that's possible.
But I like Maryland.
Well, I like them too, other than they're from the Big Ten, and I'm not a Big Ten guy, and I think the Big Ten just goes by the wayside. Can they all go by tonight? I guess they could. Who's left? With Baylor, Villanova, Arkansas, Oral Roberts, Loyola.
Villanova's Big Ten?
No. I'm talking about teams that are not. No, Syracuse is not. Houston's not. Loyola. Man, ain't many of them left. Everybody talked about they got 10 teams in. They said, boy, this is the year of the Big Ten.
8 of them got bounced.
I'm not making fun of them because I'm in all SEC schools, which I pull for all those schools too. But just a reminder that the program is brought to you by the Bank of England Mortgage Company out at the Village Mall and by Unity Health Harris Medical Center. And a look back is always sponsored by Customized Vision Care. And we're doing a look back at some of the games that we're talking about here in the tournament. And it's fun to look back and talk about the 95 team and a team that probably I don't remember if they were. I mean, obviously, when you go play Duke, you're not supposed to beat Duke for the national championship. Right. So they were a big underdog.
Oh, no doubt, yeah.
Big underdog. And then the next year to get back virtually with the same team and then lost to UCLA. And I mean, boy, to make it to the Sweet 16 and win 2 games in this tournament is just absolutely awesome.
Sweet 16's March 27th and 28th. It's on here on your bracket.
27th and 28th.
The Elite 8 will be March 29th and 30th.
The next day, yeah.
And then you've got the national semifinals will be April 3rd.
And the championship on the 5th. So we'll have to just go ahead. We can pick all the way through what? Then we can pick all the way through the
Final Four.
Through the Final Four or to the Final Four?
To the Final Four.
To the Final
Correct.
Four. I'm ready to go.
I can tell you who the Final Four will be.
Well, just start Gonzaga, Oklahoma.
Zags.
They've already won.
That's correct.
Creighton or Ohio?
I think
Creighton's won.
Creighton is final 72-58. So Creighton is a winner there.
Has Kansas and UC.
They played tonight at 8:40.
I'll take Kansas.
I'm Kansas.
USC will not upset Kansas.
Oregon and Iowa. Oregon won that game. Michigan, LSU. I picked LSU, and they are winning. Colorado, Florida State.
Playing right now, Florida State 24-18.
I've got Colorado beating them.
Okay.
I'm Florida State all the way.
I don't like Florida State.
You don't?
I'm going to leave mine blank till the game's over, then we'll fill it.
Then fill it in as you go. Hey, that's the best way to win at a bracket.
UCLA did win.
UCLA won 67-47.
And Maryland, Alabama, and I got the Terps.
Bama all the way.
Ben, tell me about your who do you have going into your Elite 8 in the West? Who are your 2 teams?
In the West, I've got Gonzaga and Kansas.
Okay, I have Gonzaga in Kansas. Who do you have in the East?
LSU and Bama, SEC.
That's what I have. I've got LSU and Bama. So we're a little bit different, but with Hayden, but not much.
And on the South, who you got?
Let's look over South and let's let Hayden talk about his first because, I mean, it's finished. You got Baylor and Villanova. Hayden?
Villanova.
What do you like about Villanova to beat Baylor?
It's another one of those. Nova, just a historic program. Not to say Baylor's not. They're just one of those teams each and every year. They just fight, and you just see them. I mean, they're just one of those teams that are always in there. They've always got big-name recruits. They've always got guys going to the next level. And they typically get guys to stay 2 to 3, maybe 4 years.
Sure, yeah.
And build around that. So just give me Nova.
You take Nova.
I don't like 1 seeds this far in other than Gonzaga. I got Gonzaga and Maryland in my Final Four.
All right, so you like
I got Gonzaga and Oregon in my Elite 8 in the West, and I've got LSU and Maryland. And then on the South, I've got Nova, and then Arkansas, Oral Roberts, already beat them this year. Make it a 2-time. Hogs go to the Elite 8.
Ooh, I like it. All right, wait, in the Midwest?
This is where it gets dicey.
Oh, not for you, baby. Anybody would pick Oregon State.
Oregon State,
and like the guy said on TV, Oregon State Ducks pulled a big upset, and I thought, well, they're not the Oregon State Ducks, but you're close. You're close. I make mistakes too.
I said the Beavers. I liked how they played. I've talked about this.
Yeah,
I watched them
have.
play in the conference championship, and I said, this team right here is a good team. And it's one of those things where you can say, yeah, I just know, but really you don't.
That's right.
They just happen to get lucky, and I got Oregon State and Houston in the Elite Eight on that side.
Okay. Ben Black, what's your
I got
Baylor and Nova?
Villanova.
Villanova for sure.
He looked at me.
Yeah, he did. Arkansas and Oral Roberts.
Hogs, baby.
Hogs. Hogs trailed in that ball game big time in the first half. I don't remember how many, but
You talking about
when they played Oral Roberts
Oh, yeah.
earlier this year.
12,
Is that right?
12, 14 maybe.
And they made the comment I saw where Arkansas, like yesterday's game was the 10th time that Arkansas had trailed by double digits in a basketball game and come back and won the game.
This season, yeah.
This season. That's awesome.
It's Musselman. He doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does because 7 guys played last night. 7 guys. Desi Sills was one of them, and he came in.
He played for a minute.
Shot a 3, missed, came on the other end, fouled, and he said, "Get out."
He sure did.
You're done. If you can't give me any spark, Vanover didn't touch the floor.
Yep, didn't even go in.
And the reason he's all a matchup. He doesn't care. If Moses Moody couldn't match up against his guy, Moses Moody would sit on the bench.
That's
He
right.
does not care. He is there to win.
Yeah, and he plays the matchup. He just says, and matchups being
Odds.
this guy's going to be
Yes.
guarding my guy. Who is that guy, and who am I going to have to guard because I've got my other 4 guys? Who's my big guy going to have to guard? And go, oh, there's not anybody out there for him to guard.
You look at their personnel, you look at your personnel, and you say, what's my best chance,
To win.
considering both, to win?
Devo Davis against Mac McClung was the talk. McClung, the leading scorer for them, and Devo is a guy who's 6'3", but looks like he's about 6'6" because his arms can touch his ankles when he stands
Right.
up. He's just long, lanky, and he's a mismatch. He gets to the basket, and he can elevate. He goes off with that left hand, and then defensively, it's hard to get around a guy when his wingspan's like 6'9". I mean, he's just tough.
He made a big shot in the first game that we played right before the half that I thought was huge in that basketball game. And it looked like he was from the free throw line extended on the left side when he took off. And I thought, well, that's going to be way short. And he just floated and floated and floated and floated and laid it off the glass at the buzzer. Just, and it was before the little red light came on.
Unlike
Unlike what happened earlier at
Glen Rose.
Glen Rose.
We didn't have lights.
The red light would have been going off.
Florida State 24, Colorado 20. We got a ball game with LSU and Michigan, 55-55. It's going. It's a dandy. There's 12-10 in the clock.
Juwan Howard get it done.
Juwan played with the Fab Five and
Made a career in the NBA.
Absolutely.
18 years or something like
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir. He's a good one, and I like him. I like the Fab Five.
So we picking our Final Four?
Not quite yet. Yeah, who's your Final Four? Who you got?
I told you, Gonzaga, Maryland, Hogs, Oregon State.
You're close.
Ben Black?
You're close. I've got Gonzaga, the Hogs, LSU, and the upset Kings Loyola.
No way.
I'm
gonna
Gonzaga.
They're going to beat Syracuse.
Okay.
LSU.
No way.
Well, maybe. Arkansas and Houston. I love Houston.
Houston,
I love Houston. I don't care. Listen, I love Houston.
the kid who hurt his hip, did you see his after the game?
No.
Hurt his hip, didn't know if he was going to play in the game. After the game, his mom's in the stands, and, they're sitting at the very top. Nobody's on the lower level because they're in a bubble now.
Right.
And he looks at his mom and said, "You thought this hurt hip was going to keep me out? Mama, I told you, I'm tough."
Is that right? That's
tough.
what he played.
Yeah, he played.
He played.
Yeah, dislocated or something to his hip like
I'm
2 weeks.
tough, Mama.
He said, "I'm tough. You knew I was going to play."
I love it. I love it. I've got Arkansas, Houston, Gonzaga, and LSU. I've got y'all want to pick it from there. What do you got?
The
from there?
finals?
Yeah, let's pick it.
Okay.
Let's pick it. We'll talk about it next week again. Let's pick it.
I'm
I've got mine
penciling
picked.
mine in, and this is gospel truth right here. Or I believe it.
National title championship.
Who you got, Hayden?
Who you got in the final two?
The final two.
And the final two, according to Hayden Schultz from NBS or NSB. What are we being?
MBS.
NBS Productions.
I got Gonzaga route over Maryland.
Really?
Maryland, their luck runs out. The Terps can't handle Gonzaga. Gonzaga in the finals, and then it comes down to my Beavers and my Hogs.
What you got?
Oh, Pig Suey.
The Hogs.
Hogs in the finals.
And you got enough guts to pick a winner.
I know. I mean, Gonzaga, I think, beats them. They're just so. They're 26-0.
They're the best team.
27 now. They're 28-0.
They're the best team in the country.
Come on.
They have no weakness.
Well, I'll tell you, they've got some kryptonite, and the kryptonite is the Tigers from LSU.
That's what I got. That's what I got. That's what I got.
Hogs and the Tigers for the final.
That's what I've got. Hey, give me some.
Hogs will win, baby.
Kryptonite.
SEC.
If you're not in the final game, you cannot win the national championship. You can't win it.
Hey, Newport was the best team in high school basketball.
But they weren't in the championship.
We weren't in the final, so we couldn't win it.
We couldn't win it.
Couldn't beat Harding because we weren't there.
Kryptonite. I love it. I love it. So you heard it here. Hey, we're just against you.
I'll take the Bulldogs.
He said the Dogs.
Who's not taking the Bulldogs?
I mean,
I know two that ain't.
We may be the only.
We may be the only two in the country not taking the Bulldogs.
I'm telling you, I would love to see an LSU-Arkansas matchup.
And I know what you're saying. Your money is on them. But I'm gonna tell you what. I believe what I told you. I believe if I had $1, if I had to bet $1, which is my maximum bet ever, I'll bet $1 on LSU to beat Gonzaga, and I'll bet $1 on the Razorbacks to beat LSU.
Well, I don't even have.
But you wouldn't bet.
I don't even have LSU in the
Well,
Final
I
Four.
don't even have 100, so I've never
Yeah,
even seen 100.
you don't even think LSU will beat who? Who? You don't even think they beat?
LSU,
Maryland. You like Maryland?
He likes Maryland.
They're in the Big Ten. They're an ACC school in the Big Ten.
Let me tell you something. I've watched a lot of tournaments. I know you probably watched a little bit more than me. There ain't no way they're going to let two SEC teams in the finals. Watch it say. They almost, Moses Moody palms the ball on the guys. Did you see that?
Talk about that call.
Goes up for a layup, and he's got the ball, and he just pins the ball.
The other Texas Tech going up for layup.
And he just pins the ball in his chest. And
Jump ball.
And just
Isn't
takes
it? Is it a jump
takes
ball?
it away from
Ball.
him.
That's what I thought.
They call a foul.
Jump ball, and he never touched the gap.
They go to the booth to look if it was a flagrant.
Right.
And they went and looked at the booth. Oh, it wasn't a foul, but it was just a regular foul. It's just a regular foul.
No,
You need to say jump ball.
and I don't think you could change the call.
No, but I'm saying if we're going to do that to get it right,
Get it
completely
right. I agree.
Because there is no doubt in my mind they went over there and looked and said, oh, we missed that one.
You sure did.
Guys, that is my point, and that's what bothers me about
You're welcome, Joe Miles.
the NFL. That bothers me about NCAA, all of it. But you've got the technology to do it, and we're doing it. We've stopped NFL. I've seen NFL football games for 20 minutes.
Right.
Stop. And then they say, well, the call on the field was this, and because you can't change the call, it's got to stay, nothing can be done. Get it right.
Get it right.
Get it right. I don't care if it makes the guy that made the call look like a complete moron.
Well, here's the
Get
thing.
it right.
You can throw a flag in football and wave it off.
Right, absolutely.
So why can't we do the same thing when you go and look and you say, okay, that was helmet to helmet, we threw the flagrant, and then you say, well, it wasn't a flagrant, but it was still head-to-head collision, so the 15-yard penalty. No, we came to look at it, and there was no head-to-head. There was no unnecessary, so there's absolutely nothing. Replay third down.
There you go.
Or just like that, jump ball.
I agree.
It ain't hard.
If you're going to take time out to go to the replay booth, get it all right.
Yeah,
don't have that. It's not reviewable, because if you're reviewing it,
it's reviewable.
It's reviewable because you're reviewing it.
Well,
You're reviewing the.
reviewable
Why does it have to be that I'm reviewing it for a flagrant foul? Why don't you just review it to make sure you got it right? I agree with you 1,000%.
Tech would have made their free throws. They'd have beat us.
Hey,
Well, they're 80% free throw. Go ahead.
I was going to talk about that. You got a guy. Well, first off, the guy that was 78% from the free throw line missed his.
Oh
no, he missed his first one with 6. They shot two different times. They shot free throws and missed. One of them missed the first end of 1-and-1, and the other one missed. Did he miss 2?
Well, the second guy missed the front end of 1-and-1. I
Yeah.
don't think they were ever in a 2, so he might have hit the first one and hit. But the last guy was the good guy, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the last guy was 80%.
He was 80%. There was a guy before that missed a free throw
Right.
in clutch time. I thought, man, this guy's going to make it, and then he didn't. I told Kelsey, I said, you got to make your free throws right there, and they would normally. And then they get the 80% shooter up there, and I tell Kelsey, I said, this dude's going to make it. There ain't no doubt. That's what he does, and he misses the first one, and I'm thinking, man, that will cost you, and it did. It cost them a ball game.
They were frustrated.
There was a
Taking some
question asked me,
offensive
and you answered this. You know, we came down and shot what the announcer said was an ill-advised 3. Y'all know why he shot that shot?
Because he thought he could make it.
Thought he could make it. He thought he could make it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to have to make a shot. You're going to have to make a shot sometime. Shoot it.
I'm just shocked Texas Tech did not shoot a 3 when you don't call a timeout.
Right.
That was my whole thing.
Driving kick.
I said, here we go.
Yeah.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yep.
Here we go. And then he drives the basket. He drives to the basket, and I'm cheering. I'm like, yeah, give him 2. We'll take a tie.
I thought he was going to drive and kick out, and then they'd shoot a 3. So that's exactly what I thought.
Went up, missed. Oh.
Too bad. Joe Miles said, love the Homer optimism. That's us. Yes, go Hogs. Yes, that is us for sure.
We are homers.
Yeah, homers. That's what they call us. That's what they call us up at. I'm not going to say that.
I'm not taking.
So
Oral Roberts.
Ben, who's your national champ?
Hogs.
Hogs.
They're going to beat LSU.
Hogs for me. Hogs and LSU. Hogs all the way.
And that's what it's going to be. I mean, it's no question.
No question about it. And will I be disappointed if it does not happen? Absolutely not.
I will.
No, I won't be
I'll
disappointed.
be disappointed. But you know what I'll do?
Get over it.
I'll get over it.
It'll take me a day.
Yeah, it'll take me a day or so, but I'll go right back to it.
This program is brought to you by Merchants of Planters Bank, downtown Newport, Highway 367 North at the North Branch. Fathead Pizza, that's one word, and it's all caps. Some of the best pizza in the world. State Farm Insurance agent Andrew Roach, located out here on Highway 367. Diaz Scrap Metal and Delta Manufacturing Company. C&M Ag Depot, White River Health System by Temp Pro, by Fletcher Land Surveying, Farmers Tire Mart, and El Puente Restaurant. Farmers Tire Mart, where the rubber meets the road. Guys, if you really look at this thing, if you really look at the bracket, if Arkansas weren't in the bracket, if they weren't in the bracket, I would think Baylor is probably as good a team to beat out there as anybody. I think it wouldn't shock me to see a Gonzaga-Baylor. Right. Wouldn't shock me at all.
Villanova.
I really, I mean, you know, Baylor's 24-2 now. They're 24-2. I mean, what a year. What a year. I mean, they're just a great basketball team. But then, again, you look at Houston, and they're 26-3. They're pretty good too. I've liked Houston all year. Watched them play a couple of times. I like Houston. I miss the hip guy. Hey, Mama, I'm playing. I'm tough. I'm tough. A lot of basketball to be played now. Let me give you an update on some scores right here. And Florida State 24-20 at the half. 9:40 to go. 9:43 to go in the second half. Oh, and LSU is pulled away by 3.
We got to get out of here. I want to watch
63-60. I probably agree with you.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, we need to watch
I love it when Michigan.
Let me do the birthday report. Let me talk about the birthday report here real quick.
Slick Rick Morales is watching on vacation right now.
Is he on vacation?
I guarantee you. He's shaking right now.
Tiggy Riggy.
Two Chicks, Florist, and More brings you the birthday report. Chris Jackson, happy birthday today. Doug Lancaster, a former football player of mine over at Harrisburg. Susanna Hope. Janie Freeman with a birthday, and Teresa Thompson. Later this week, Lee Scoggins with a birthday. Allison Edwards, Donna Justice, John Chadwell from NEDC. Sharon Nicole has a birthday later on this week. Alanette Hare Rushing with a birthday. Former Newport Greyhound football player Carl Cross. Jody Smotherman with a birthday. Dan Hager, class of 1974. Tyrone Alcorn has a birthday today. Kenesha Fryer with a birthday today. Our friend Logan Morris, the Rat.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Tat-tat-tat. Logan Morris' birthday. Scotty Fisher with a birthday today. Chauncey Young with a birthday. Laura Wyrick. Deanna Long with a birthday. Not today, later this week. Michaela Gist with a birthday later this week. Leanne Grady with a birthday later this week. And Ken Brown. We want to wish you all a happy, happy birthday. Final thoughts, guys.
Don Washington's birthday today, too.
Don, Big Don. I wished him a happy birthday.
70.
70 today.
70 of them.
Happy birthday, Big Don.
He ain't got Facebook. Well, he does have Facebook.
Yeah, he does now. I sent him a friend request. He just got it,
He does have Facebook.
He's stepping.
He don't get on there.
I
guarantee you.
Well, I've sent him a friend request, so when you see him, you tell him, say, you need to accept David's friend request.
And he'll say, I don't even get on
I don't get on ever. No, I don't have to do that stuff. Just do it, Don. Just do it. Final thoughts, guys, on the NCAA. Y'all just final thoughts on
Well-
anything tonight?
What's the guy's name? Furman.
Thurman.
Furman.
Good call.
Todd
I can tell you.
Furman.
Todd Furman, good call. You missed it.
Good one. Good one, Todd. I agree with you. Charles Barkley, keep going, brother. I wouldn't have called a timeout either. I agree with Chris Beard, who also agrees with Todd Furman, and Muss doesn't. That's my final thought. Go Muss.
Hogs.
Go Hogs. Until next time, everybody, David Black, Ben Black.